Hello?
How I found out about you was like, yo, there's a professor that teaches a Jay-Z class. And I was like, oh, word? A Jay-Z class? I gotta see this. So that's how I found out about you. Ended up, I think either Yaki linked us up or Spencer maybe. I don't remember.
Well, it was all fate. It was on the stars. We all met how we were supposed to, right?
Yeah, I was so happy that we got a chance to do that. But within creating this Jay-Z class and how you talk about like data mining for what Black people are into. And one thing I say is like, yo, people talk about like beefing with each other. And to me, it's like not the artist, it's like whoever has the biggest fan base. The reason you can't say shit about Beyonce is because the Bayhive is these motherfuckers is on your ass.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So within there, like, how did you come about even creating that class, one? And two, how did you sell that shit to white people to be like, yo, we should make this let's have white kids pay money to take this class.
You know what? It's funny because I didn't even think about selling it to people, like in terms of selling it to white people when I came up with it. I came up with this idea. How can I have a class that's kind of like an intro to data mining, but how can I convince college kids to take that? Because in a sense, data mining as a class is still kind of relatively new when you think about it on the college level. But, to myself, I was thinking, what if I had a class and called it a Jay-Z class and really had that serve as kind of like the front for a data mining class? That's the part that I really thought about it. And it was able to kind of grab students' attention, because if I was telling them, hey, we're going to be working with text mining software, topic modeling this, visualization software, yada, 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 I think people would be intimidated by it. But it's so interesting because everybody thinks they're an expert on music. Everybody, no matter what walk of life you come from, you feel like you know something about music that the other person does not. And, I think Jay-Z, hate him or love him, he is still one of the most, notice what I'm about to say this word, consequential rappers of the late 1990s up until even present day. So the idea is, he's a focal point that I think is very interesting, a polarizing focal point for some people that makes class discussions very interesting.
What do you mean by consequential? When you say he's the most consequential artist, you mean like the most impact?
I'm not, I think it's all of those types of things put together. I think first off, let's be for real. It's not like he makes trash music. Even if you hate him or love him, you probably know at least one Jay-Z song. He's like, you know what? I can bounce my head to that. I think also when you think about what he's done for rap music in general, he's been involved in some of the most iconic beefs in general. I think that's a cool thing. Like, to be somebody, you gotta be in a beef in history, right? Whether you W.E.B. Du Bois or Booker T. Washington, Zora Neale Hurston, or Richard Wright, to be somebody, you got to beef with someone who's also considered to be at the top of their game. More than that, I mean, think about this. I think this is always so funny, which I teach to my students. In the 90s, rappers did not know they were going to be rich. They was pursuing it for the art form. People thought rap was a fad.
Yeah. Nobody took that shit serious.
I know, like, if you look at some of the pioneers of rap, it's telling that they are not that rich because, they didn't have an insight into the thing to be like, hey, this is about to come into this billion-dollar industry. Let me try to have some more ownership and more this and more that. That's why I think it's so important that we honor all of those people, not necessarily because of their income, but I think as a consequential rapper, Jay-Z he's collaborated with so many people that by teaching a class on Jay-Z, I get to teach about, so many different people from Timbaland to the Neptunes, even taking it down to, Houston dealing with UGK and all those types of things. That's why I think he's consequential. He's just dealt with so many people. And, I'm from a Napster generation, similar to you. And I can remember a time where people were closed off from music regionally. If you were in the South, you only listened to Southern music.
It's funny. Well, it is funny because you from the South.
Yeah, outside
you from
of
Tennessee, right?
Yeah, Jack.
Yeah. So for me, like growing up, to be honest with you, like I didn't. Like I was never, I don't care who feel any kind of way with about this, but I was like never a Jay-Z fan growing up. Like I grew up in Texas, so my scope of music was UGK, Cash Money, um, 8 Ball and MJG crept in there. Like, you know what I mean? Occasion, I mean, we got Tupac and Biggie because that was like what was mainstream, or you know what I mean, before Jay-Z, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I didn't get into Jay-Z till like I was in the military and was with people from all over the world. So like my East Coast homies and all that. But yeah, you're right. It was very regional thing. And now, like even with dialects and with slang, like nothing's like everything's universal. Everything's on the internet. So like I don't know what you can't really tell where an artist is from these days half the time. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And see, I think that's the thing, right? Because let's think of the cliche thing of this, right? You're a black man, right? You listen to rap music. So you must know who Jay-Z is and you must be a fan, right? But I think in class, it's so dope when I can hear people coming in and say, you know what? I never really listened to Jay-Z's music, or I never really did this and that. And I think this is so interesting. Some people read Shakespeare for fun and then they say they love it, right? Some people are introduced to Shakespeare in a classroom. But the idea is so many references that Shakespeare has put forward exist in modern day society. So the idea is, you know, Romeo, Romeo, where art thou, Romeo? Wherefore art thou, Romeo? You might not have read Romeo and Juliet, but you know that phrase. I think when you see people talking about get that dirt off your shoulder and brushing off your shoulder from Hillary Clinton to Obama, I think it's safe to say Jay-Z's impact is just goes beyond rap music, but it's in pop culture.
Yeah, no, in pop culture, but we are pop culture.
Yes.
You know what I mean? You can't like it is funny because like you remember back when Cash Money dropped Bling Bling.
Yes.
And then you seen the process, and when old white women started using it in commercials, then you like, okay. But it's a constant, I don't want to say appropriation, but like a constant like, yo, this is the origins of that. And it's very clear. You know what I mean?
Very much so. Very much. But I think that's always been the case, right? It's always
Yeah, no, absolutely. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. And I think
we move the culture. Whatever we think is cool, period.
Yeah.